Hey guys, Rix100 here, and welcome to another web design tutorial. Today, I am going to show you about links and URL paths. So there are many ways that you can point to a file or web address within your website, whether it's in the CSS or the HTML or JavaScript or PHP or whatever code you're using. There are multiple ways to point to different locations. So, because we're going to be pointing to another location, I think it's time to create a second page in our little mock website. So I am going to copy index.html and paste it in and rename it and call it links. And then on the title, I am going to say links and description. Instead of saying this is the index for the web design tutorials, I'm going to say this is the links page. You can really say whatever you want in there for information on the head stuff. Visit my previous tutorial about heads on HTML files. So then within the body, actually I want to keep the header. We can delete all this stuff. I am selecting from just underneath the header to just above the footer because I want to keep that. And then we are going to put multiple anchors in so that we can link to other things. So A is an anchor or a link. And then we want to do href equals, and then we want to say relative, and we want to copy and paste that a couple times. So relative, and then root, and then parent, and absolute. And you will find out what those mean in a moment. So let's do relative. For a relative link a is when you direct to a path that's location is relative to the current file. So for example, links.html is in the web design tutorials folder. So a relative link will start at that folder. So let's just link this to index.html. So we'll just type index.html. And so that will look in this folder for index.html. I'm going to skip root for a moment and go to parent. Parent is also a form of relative link, but it has a ... slash in front of it. And so the reason for that is the ... means you start in the parent of the current directory. So instead of looking at in the web design tutorials folder, it's going to look in the folder that contains it. So for me, that's a web design folder that has the folder for the documentation for my Discord bot and the folder for my website. So let's have it go to the index, the local index for my website. So then in that case, we will do ... slash wix100.github.io slash index.html. Now, just to let you know, that is not going to the actual index for my website. It's just a local copy that I have on my computer. That's the one that I edit and then push to GitHub, and then it updates the server. An absolute path would be it's not at all related to where the current thing would be. Usually it would be going to some external website. So here we can do https://google.com, and that will take us to Google. Now back up to root. The reason why I skipped root is because this is not a real website. It's just viewing HTML files. So the root is it's the C drive. So if I go to the C drive, it will look for something in here. I don't have any files in here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do root. Now that's interesting. Visual Studio Code is looking within the folder that this is located in. We could try it. I don't think it's going to work though. But one more thing that we have to do is we need to update the header because we don't have a way to get to the links page from index. So in both index and links, we're going to copy this line here and paste it in, and then say links, and change index.html to links.html or .html. And so when we refresh this, links now appears. And you click it, and it took us here. And there are 3 links here. When we go to relative, it takes us back to index. We go to parent, it takes us here. And it's weird looking because it's not properly referencing the CSS for the page. But this is the content from my website. If we click absolute, it takes us to google.com. If we click root, it could not find c:/index.html. So I was right. Also, something I forgot to do is we need to make this change in links as well. So even though I type slash um and Visual Studio Code thinks that it would point here, it really starts at the C drive. So then I'm going to do slash uh, shared files slash web design slash web design tutorials slash assets slash, let's just find something in assets, pictures slash, not bridge dot jpg. I think it's a JPEG. Yeah, it's a JPEG. And so if we refresh and click root, it then loads in the bridge. Although it's a big file, so it takes a while. And there you go. Absolute. C:/ shared files, web design tutorials, assets, pictures, bridge. Now, I think it's bad practice to actually put in a space here, but it automatically corrected it to %20. But I'm going to put in %20 here because I did not remember that it was 20. Although that makes sense because the ASCII for a space is 32, which in hexadecimal is 20. So %20 makes sense. So there you go. Relative link in the same folder, a link from the root, which in a website The root is not the root of the computer. The root is the root of the web server. So if I was running this on a web server instead of on my local computer, I would make this folder the root, and then I could do slash assets slash picture slash bridge instead of having to do all all this part. So on an actual web server, it would just be that. But since it's a local machine, it's that. So relative, root, relative from the parent, and you can actually stack this as many times as you want. You can do dot dot slash, dot dot slash, dot dot slash, and notice it's adjusting every time. So I now back out into the C drive, I think, and then an absolute, usually going out to some external site like google.com. Those are all the different ways you can do links. There may be more, but those are the most commonly used ones. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe and ring the bell to get notified. Questions, comments, concerns in the comment section, and all relative links are in the description. Till next time, bye.